this snow helmet, and our goal is to change the yellow text graphic to a different color. Okay. So first thing, I'm going to show you two methods: fast and easy way, and then another way that takes a little bit more time but gives you the flexibility of changing the color multiple times. Okay, so let's get into it. First and foremost, I'm just going to isolate the area that I want to change the color. So I'm going to grab the lasso tool, and I am going to just use me hand and eye coordination, just create a little of a mask area because I just want to focus on this section. So I'm just going to show you the first method, I'm just going to copy and paste this, and it's quick and easy, right? So here it is. I have two layers. I have the original and I have the masked area. So I'm just going to hide this for a second and just focus on the duplicate area that I've put on here. And I'm just going to show you a quick, fast way of replacing colors. So with the layer selected, go to Image, Adjustment, and Replace Color. And what I'm going to do here, focus on, it says selection based on what I have here. I'm going to tell the computer to pick on this color, right? Now, you can see the result instantly. I'm just going to click and drag and play with the hue, and you'll see that it's changed the color. Now, it's only picked up some of the yellow, so I'm going to add to the sample area different areas of yellow, different tones to increase. Now, I did a good job. I'm just going to zoom in, and I'm going to add, say, the darker tones of yellow, and maybe play with the fuzziness so it picks up more of the yellow tones. And that looks pretty good. And then when you click and drag the slider, you can see that color change happen instantaneously. So pick and choose what color you want to pick. You want to change it to blue. Saturation, it will play with the intensity of blue. So if you want it darker or lighter, I don't recommend playing with the lightness. It kind of messes up the highlights and shadows. So if you're going to change it, just very, very, very little. Localize clusters. Let's just back up and see the result. Okay. And I guess I could pick up a little bit more. Didn't pick up that spot, so. And there you go. So pick and choose a color other than the original, to something that you're liking. And once you've done that, okay. Now, if I activate the original, I don't move it, it looks fine. But this is great. It's quick. It's fast. However, there's not much flexibility afterwards to change it because you got to go through the process and now picking this blue color and placing that. So it's a process to do it this way. If you're trying to show a client different ways of how your logo will look, I recommend this next method. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just click on the original background. I'm going to right click and say duplicate this. So now I have two of the same layer. Okay. I'm going to just eyeball this off, and this is called replace color. Okay. Just so that you guys have the option of knowing the difference. I'm just showing the quick method. Here's another method that you can try. All right. Doing the same thing I did earlier, getting my lasso tool. Just going to pick the mode here and just do the same thing, but mind you, I have a new layer selected. Oh boy, did I do it on purpose? Who knows? I actually messed up a bit. Let me add that area by, adding that area. And subtracting that area. I think I picked up some white. Remember, this method here is only good for images that have color. Changing black and white requires a different method. Okay. Let me just see here. Okay, good enough. I don't have any white here. So with the mask selected, I'm going to click on Add Layer Mask, and it's automatically going to mask that layer, that section there. Okay. And this next option, I'm going to show you. I'm going to click on the thumbnail. And I'm going to click on color range. So if I go to select and color range, it's very similar to the image adjustment, replace color. what I want to do is I want to mask this layer. Now, very similar. I'm just going to click on certain colors, and actually that looks pretty good right off the bat. I'm just going to say with grayscale. You can choose different modes to see what it looks like. So everything that's red. And oops, I'm going to press cancel. So let me just go back to that again. Select, color range. Did a great job. Let's see what the end result. It just masks it for us. So this is a cool trick. I'm just going to delete this layer mask because I already have this pretty cool mask already. So I'm going to just say delete layer mask. And on that layer, just add a new one based on my new selection. So there we go. Okay, so that's a quick way of getting the isolated area. And what we're going to do is on top of this, we are going to add a new adjustment layer. Now, we're not going to click solid color. We're going to go to hue and saturation. Okay. Now, if I click on the hue and saturation, this dialog box pops up in the properties, and I can play with the look and color of it. Now, it's affecting the whole photograph. I want to only affect this layer. So, with that being said, you have to right click and say create clipping mask, and make sure that this is connected to only this mask here. So this color and hue saturation is only going to affect the layer below it. Okay. So you play with the saturation, the amount, and because I've clip masked this area, it's not going to affect this area. So notice how that yellow is not affected, only that area as is. Okay. So there you go. There's a method of changing. And why do I like this method? It's because the hue and saturation now can be changed on the fly. You can see what it looks like, and you can save it in different modes because this is on the fly editing. Okay. So that's the method I recommend. Save your file. Again, if you showed me this option, this will be sufficient, but this option is better because you can now save it as, change the color, save as, and show your client what it looks like different colors. Now, in retrospect, the masking, I maybe should have played with the fuzziness on this. Again, it's a clip mask, so you can select it, go in, and if you needed to, you can adjust it. Okay, and here's a cool way of adjusting it. Instead of brushing all around, watch this. I'm gonna hold Command, click on my thumbnail. I've made the mask. What I can do is now go select and modify and say I want to expand this mask by a few pixels. Now I'm just gonna apply 3. That looks pretty good. And watch this. I'm gonna delete that layer mask. All right, and then apply it based on my new method, and it's eliminated more of that color from there. Okay, so that method was pretty good. Again, go back to my hue and saturation and still be able to play with the color. And let me just go file save as. Meta David _ Photoshop task 2. Oops, sorry. Okay, and I'll press save. File save as. Now, if I was saving as different color versions, you could essentially make different layers of the same thing over and over again. Or you can just say, if I was doing it for a client and I want to show them in JPEG, I would name it helmet light blue, change it to a different color and say purple. File save as. etc., etc. This is not important, but this is an option you would have. And this is a nice thing about the slider method is that you can save in different formats and then show your client what it looked like afterwards in different colors. So for example, these are the JPEGs that your client would see. And this is why I like the slider method. You can show different versions of the same thing with different colors of these. Okay. Anyways, that's your video. Good luck.